Hey guys, I've been thinking lately, I'll be like scrolling through YouTube and it feels like nothing good is on. And it seems like it's getting worse. Like it's kind of been this way for me for a while. Uh, I was born in 1990, and uh, when I was growing up, we had a TV with, sometimes we had a lot of channels, sometimes we didn't have so many. Um, we didn't have smartphones or anything. We got our first computer, I think, when I was like 9 or 10 or something. Probably had to be 10, maybe 11. I don't remember. But it was a Windows 98, and we had a corded house phone for a long time. Eventually, we did get a cordless house phone, but um, we still kept the corded house phone and just plugged it into a different part of the wall in a different room. And you couldn't be on the phone and on the internet at the same time. And the internet was dial up. So it made, the dial up sound. And, um, and it was really slow. Um, and we had video games, but it was all like console games. Every once in a while, we would get like a computer game. Like my dad had Age of Empires. He really liked that game a lot. We had a Nintendo, Super Nintendo, a Nintendo 64. Eventually, we got I think the next one we got was an Xbox when those came out. The original one, like the big black one with the big meaty controllers. I really like those controllers more than the newer ones, just because they were like meatier. Um, and then we got, I think it was a PS2, and then I think we got Xbox 360 or something like that. And that's the last thing I remember. Oh no, we got a GameCube at some point. We were like big video game people, except my mom. Like the rest of us played video games. She didn't play many. She played this one game called Tetrisphere on the Nintendo 64. She really liked that one. I kind of like that one sometimes. It was fun. It was like Tetris, but it was like a sphere instead of like a 2D, like, you put the little pieces together like a puzzle. um but we would watch a lot of TV growing up. When I was like smaller, my mom was into like some soap operas. She would watch those, and everything came on at a certain time, and you had to be watching the TV at that time to see that show. Or we had a VCR, and you could record TV shows. um I think that you could even like time them on the VCR, like put an empty tape in and time when it would start recording, like if you were at work or something, and it would record the show while you were at work or whatever. I don't remember exactly how it worked. I don't think that anybody in my family ever figured that out. So, or either that or our VCR didn't do it or something. We had a radio to listen to music on. Um, we had some tapes. We would listen to tapes. Uh, Back then, if you like, you would listen to the radio, and it would just kind of be random what songs came on. So if you really wanted to hear a song, you would either have to wait for it to come on the radio, or you would have to know who sang it, know the name of the song, know the name of the album or whatever, and go out and buy the tape. you could call the radio station and ask them to play the song that you wanted to hear, but that, most of the time I don't think people did that. You would just have to go out and buy the tape. Eventually, CDs took over, and you could go get like the CD, and then MP3 players came out, and you could just download like a MP3 file or whatever off the internet, or buy it or whatever. I don't know exactly how that worked. I kind of forget, but we watched a lot of TV growing up, and uh, we used to say, like, if you couldn't find anything you wanted to watch, uh, we didn't call it, what do we call it? We didn't call it scrolling like we do now with the smartphones and the YouTube. Like, you scroll through the videos. We would call it, I forget, I think it was flipping. We would flip through the channels, and if you couldn't find anything to watch, you would say, there's nothing good on, It's starting to feel that way with YouTube for me lately. Is I'll be scrolling through, flipping through the channels, I guess. Not really, because they're not channels so much anymore. I mean, they are, but you can get the same channel in your feed multiple times. It's just like individual videos now on YouTube. I know that there's also, like Netflix and stuff, but I'm poor. I don't think that I've ever had a Netflix account or a whatever all the other ones are, like Disney Plus and Amazon Prime or something. I don't know. I don't keep up with technology really as much as I probably should. I'm not like a tech bro or anything. I know that, like, you're not a tech bro if you know about like streaming services and stuff, but um but it feels like there's nothing good on anymore. And I mean, like, even on Netflix and stuff, like, I'll hear about like shows that are up and coming, I guess, or whatever, and most of those I wouldn't want to watch either. I was just watching a video on YouTube talking about how to make um, titles that make people want to click on your videos, and they were talking about um, giving people a brain itch. Like when you see a title that's like, um, let me think of it. It's like it kind of asks a question and then doesn't give you the answer. So you feel like clicking on the video just to get the answer to the question, because it bugs you that now you have a question in your head and you don't have an answer for it. And that is so annoying to me. Like that's clickbait, really. In essence, that's clickbait. And clickbait is, I hate clickbait. I hate it so much. All the like the thumbnails with the people that are like, and the stupid, like, whatever it is that they put on the thumbnail text to like get you to, click on it or tap on it or whatever. I hate it. I can't, like, it feels gross to me. It feels like you're trying to play a trick on me. So, like, I'll see those videos in my feed, where it'll, like, you know, make me think of something or ask a question or whatever, and then just not answer it. And I'll be sitting there like, you could just tell me what the video is about in the title. And it makes me mad, so I just don't tap on those videos, because I don't want to, like, reward that behavior. I know that it doesn't help a lot. I mean, I was like a vegetarian for 10 years because I didn't like how the meat industry treated animals. And I was like, and my thought was like, if even it's just me not eating these animals, then that's a few less animals that die or, have to live in those conditions. um I know that it doesn't probably it didn't probably help that much, just, like my refusing to do that, but I figured it might help a little bit. And it's kind of the same way with like me not tapping on these clickbaity videos. Like I know like hundreds of thousands of people are gonna tap on, a lot of these videos, and so like me not watching them doesn't really help all that much, but maybe a little bit. And like I know that a lot of this stuff is just content. It's not really like it's not supposed to be like art or anything. There is no like higher meaning to any of this. It's not like, supposed to have any kind of like magical sauce that makes it, you know, great or anything, but it's just the like the trickery and it's slop. Like people talk about AI slop. Well, this is human slop. Like there is such a thing. I mean, I would rather watch AI slop than some of this human slop. I'm not saying that there's not such a thing as AI slop, like there absolutely is, but there's also human slop. And I'll just be scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and sometimes I'll scroll for like this just happened. Like I it just happened earlier. I was scrolling through and I could not find even one thing that I felt like watching. Now there'll be other times, like just a minute ago I was trying to um find some kind of like inspiration for art or whatever, and I was scrolling through and I found a whole bunch of videos that I maybe wanted to watch at some point, and I put them all in my watch later, playlist, which is like thousands of videos long by now. I know I'm never gonna get around to watching all of those, but it'll be like interesting things about like history or world events or tech or guns or whatever. I've been on kind of a gun kick lately, looking at like how different guns work and stuff. But it really just seems like a lot of these channels are just making content to make it, to get people to click on it, to make money. And I get it. It kind of feels like we're all doing that. Like I know that you know, my videos, a lot of them aren't great. They're really low effort. Like I don't edit these or anything. I just kind of sit down and talk to my phone and put them out. Um, but it seems to me like it's gotten to the point with like tech and the economic system and everything where we're kind of just not making fools of ourselves, but just kind of doing whatever works to bring in more money, you know, and like all of these influencers and stuff, taking these sponsorships and ads and stuff for these products that they don't, that they don't care about them. They've probably barely used them if they use them at all. Um, they and they're just doing commercials or ads or whatever you want to call them for these companies, who are also just trying to make money. So they, give these influencers these sponsorship deals to get more exposure to their market or well, their audience, so that their audience may become their market. And I might make a video about that too. It's just like I understand it. I understand like you're trying to get more views, you're trying to get more subscribers, you're trying to grow your audience, you're trying to, get more ad revenue and more sponsorships and all this stuff. But and a lot of it is like they're just doing the best they can, trying to put stuff out, whatever they have to put out. I get it, but like I feel like at a certain point, uh, you gotta step back and be like, is this clickbait? Like, am I have I stooped to the level of like trying to trick people into watching my crap? You know, my slop. Like kids YouTube. I've looked into that a little bit. Not I'm not planning on doing anything for kids, um, but kids YouTube is has a lot of that going on. Like there's this term floating around for a while, brain rot, quote unquote, and it's just like it's all just engineered as best as these creators can engineer it to get kids to tap on things and try to retain children's attention spans for however long they want to try to make a video run for. And there's some wild psychology going on in that corner of the internet, corner of YouTube, I guess. Probably the internet as a whole. I know there's lots of like kids games and stuff on Google Play, or maybe not kids games necessarily, but I mean, I don't know how it works, but this cat is getting restless. He climbed in my lap again before the video. Um, but there's like a bunch of horror games and stuff. There's whole genre now. It's like kids horror, and I can see how it would be scary. It's just like a lot of it's really low quality, just like slop, slop for kids. But I guess it is what it is. I guess if you've experienced this, there's nothing good on feeling lately. Let me know in the comments. I like hearing from y'all and seeing what y'all think about things and what you have to say about things. Um, like and subscribe if you feel like it. Ring the bell if you feel like that. Uh, Share if you think anybody else wants to hear me ramble about random crap. And y'all have a good one, and I'll see you later.